yeah.
In a position, I should say, not libero, but.
Yeah, you don't want to see me in a libero jersey.
I do. So what are some of the first things you'll be looking out for here with First Serve?
You know, spring volleyball is just so fun. It's a good time to just get to try different things, maybe run some fun combo plays you wouldn't naturally run some different people on the court, make some different matchups, do some fun different stuff, and just see how your team really shows up in a live atmosphere with jerseys on.
That'll do, though. Back to serve first for Penn State. Nice crafty set for Villanova, but a big physical block for Penn State. And a big load-up swing for Villanova, denied. That was Marley Smith, the senior, on the outside pin. Big block for Penn State. Tough to sneak it through, especially when you're undersized.
That is going to be a huge downside for Villanova, is that they are a little bit undersized, and Penn State is, let's say, oversized. They're much bigger.
Nice block, nice dig from Villanova. Couldn't pay it off, though. That's Stuckey making her entrance into the match. You talked about it at the Open. There could be an All-American sitting on the bench for Penn State this year come 2026.
That's a crazy concept and reminds me a lot of professional volleyball. Like right now in the MLV or LOVB, you look at these rosters and you see girls sitting on the bench and they were all Americans at their respective universities. It's kind of crazy to think that Penn State might have that as well.
Well, you mentioned Alexis Stuckey off the top, Mac, and what a get for Penn State. They were craving some leadership in that position, of course, with the stunning loss last year, and top 5 in most assists per set. Runs an offense efficiently. And traded out with Taylor Parks in the offense for Florida last year. So I think she's looking to settle into that starting position as well. Is going to have to earn it, as you mentioned. It's the freshman Whitmire, but looking to find her identity here with Penn State.
She's got a good opportunity here, and I'm excited to see what she can bring. This is a good chance for her to settle in a little bit and show what she's really got.
Here's the first look at Ryla Jones. Transfer out of Pitt, sends it into the block. Finds the opening there, goes big, and out of reach for Villanova. So Ryla Jones, you're a setter. In your background, how do you find that connection with the middles, the toughest one to find if you're new in that combination?
It is very difficult to find your middles early. It's difficult to get into a good rhythm. Having this spring season right now is huge for that setter-middle connection. The fact that Penn State has pretty much their entire roster here right now, and they're able to work on all of those connections this early, is a big time for both setters and hitters alike.
That was a look at Danielle Whitmire, the freshman setting star coming in for Penn State. She will be ready to go come fall. Working out that knee rehab, a nice speed touch there from Villanova. Ball was called good. Marley Smith on the board for Villanova.
Back to serve for Villanova.
I'm excited about Danielle Whitmire. Whether it's this year or years to come, she's definitely got a big career ahead of her. She's going to give Stuckey a run for her money.
Yeah.
She's a talented setter, and she runs a really high offense. Standing at about 6'2", she's tall, she's offensive, and she's going to be big on that block too, which is huge from the setting position.
Top 4 ranked recruit amongst all incoming freshmen, number 2 in the state of Texas. Definitely a name to get to know for Penn State and in the Big Ten. Villanova back to work. High swing off the pin.
That was Campbell McKinnon out there on the outside. The fun little fact about her is that she's a true middle. She's a middle blocker, but due to injuries on Villanova, they've had to kind of throw her on a pin, whether that be the outside or the right side. And Coach Steinbach said she's like fit into that role rather nicely, and they're just letting her go. That's an example of something fun that happens in the spring that really wouldn't happen normally.
Wicked serve, though, from Lauenstein. She knows how to hit him from Nebraska to Texas and now to Penn State. That's the risk of putting a middle blocker in the back row. Serve receive can be a little volatile. Get in there, Mac. They heard the All-American center was in the house. Kennedy Martin throws it down. Tough to stop her.
Very hard to stop her. That's a big one right there. Kennedy Martin with basically nothing in front of her, his chances are going to score.
Some spring volleyball action. Whitney Lauenstein, one of the new faces for Penn State, back at the service line. Nice pass. Villanova, ooh, unfortunately too tight. That pin, that's Alyssa Nelson.
I like that Alyssa Nelson's going for that, though. She tried to throw it back there, just didn't quite make it.
Here's a look at some storylines entering the fall for Penn State. Mentioned the Kennedy Martin and Alexis Stuckey reuniting, lots of choices on the pin. 5 viable options for the outside attacking position for Penn State. Let's dive into the depth. And Caroline Juravich is not available here today, out with an injury. She'll be ready to go come fall as well. Looking to replace Jillian Grimes in the libero position, but what choice does Katie Schumacher-Cauley make on the pins?
I know. The pin battle is definitely one that's going to take some time, and I think it's fun that there's freshmen that could make a serious impact, and the other side of it that's fun is that they could see a bunch of different faces in different matches. You know, they could change that starting lineup, especially through that preseason.
It's a pretty set there from Alyssa Nelson out to Campbell McKinnon as the race tightens for starting positions on Penn State side. Yeah, I mean, 3 key positions in battle for Penn State, setting, outside, and at the libero spot too.
That's exactly what you want. You want your players to be fighting it out, but still have that love for each other. And talking to some of these girls before this match, they're having a really good time. They're enjoying their time in the gym, and that's quite literally exactly what you want as a coach.
The backcourt for Penn State, Emmy Selman finds the opening with the tip, but got to give some love to the little Jocelyn Nathan up for the spot at libero too this season.
Absolutely. That's definitely someone that they're looking at in that libero jersey. We call her Juice. And she's a senior this year, yeah. So she's put in the work. She's been here for a long time, and she's really been working hard this spring, Coach Schumacher-Cauley's side. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll see her today in that libero jersey at some point.
Chesapeake back there for Villanova, running a 6-2 on their side, but here's a look at those options on the...
It's insane to have this many options. This is just proof that there's going to be an All-American option sitting on the bench for Penn State, because all of those players are very talented and could make some serious impact anywhere in the country.
Stuckey throws it back to Kennedy Martin, the go-to attacker. Why not? Roomies off the court as well. Kennedy Martin and Alexis Stuckey, along with some of the other seniors in the group. Down the line, thumb down, nice attack from Kennedy Martin. She is so good at identifying the holes, knows when to go over the block, through the block, and around it.
Villanova is challenging that the ball was touched.
The challenge, we'll take a closer look at it too. So far, anything catching your attention here, Mac, when we have some time to kill?
Just that Stuckey Kmart connection is in mid-season form, and it looks like they left off without a hitch. I mean, that was proof of it right there. Stuckey chucking that ball back to Martin and finding her perfectly in her window. That's going to be huge for the Nittany Lions because they struggled to get Kmart that ball in the exact spot that she wanted last season. That's going to be a difference maker for them.
Here's the verdict upcoming.
After review, the ball was touched, creating a back row attack on Villanova. Villanova will lose its challenge.
Luckily in the spring, less heated emotions from the coaches with challenge situations. Ryla Jones will continue work back at the service line for Penn State. First set just a bit short. Selman loses the battle in the joust. So look, just wide. Gabby Nichols into the lineup, putting in good work on the court as well. The sophomore, one of the newer faces in that middle blocking position, talked about those holes at the top.
A lot of responsibility there, CJ.
Meanwhile, Penn State with a 15-3 comfy lead here in set number 1. Spring volleyball, so things are a little looser, but still competitive. Kennedy Martin swings big inside the block. Villanova tracks it down. Free ball situation here. Gabby Nichols tracks it down. Emmy Selman is dug out by Villanova. Scrappy defender. Selman again. Dug out twice. Oh, man. Mina Diggs with quite the sequence there. The sophomore libero from Villanova digging out Emmy Selman twice on that cross-court attack.
Jones back to serve.
Here's a look at Caroline Juravicius, 2024 Big Ten all-freshman team from that core that won the title in 2024. Juravicius, boy, was she clutch in that championship match. Free ball situation here for Villanova. Let's see what they do with it. A little jump ball, but count it. All the same.
It ain't got to be pretty. That scores too.
That's Margot Randall, the senior middle blocker from Villanova. Stucky, excuse me, with the chest bump. Those don't feel good.
No.
Can speak from experience here inside Rec Hall. Katie Slay will give me nightmares forever. Out to the pin for Penn State. Selman goes cross again. Nina Diggs is on it. Tip is blocked one-handed. How about that stuff from Kennedy Martin? Like a basketball block.
I'm sure they would rather her have two hands on it, but when you stand that high and you're able to use one hand, I mean, they do teach you. You want to have isolated hands when you're blocking. You never want to go with both hands, so that's a textbook ISO hand right there.
Overpass, oh my, what a dig from Diggs, and couldn't pay it off. Selman having a hard time on Nina Diggs in that matchup cross-court, the sophomore, but counts as a free ball situation.
Nina Diggs is back here covering so much ground. She's got all of the left back zone and then even most of the middle back deep 5-6 zone over there. She's covering so much ground and she's making good moves at it too.
Heavy serve there from Kennedy Martin to start this rally. Selman again, found it on Nina Diggs. Uh-oh. A net violation, I believe, called on Emmy Selman, who is perplexed by the situation.
I do like how Emmy Selman flattened that swing out. I feel like last season she would pound that ball and bounce that straight down. Or this season, in the spring, she's looking to expand her range and change up her shots. When she's got it, she'll bounce it. When she doesn't have it, she'll throw it out.
Oh, it's the center line violation. I'll let you clarify that in a moment here, Mac. To this point, Villanova back to work. And Abby Harrell shut down and denied by the Penn State block once again.
That ball hit the ground before she did. But back to that center line fault there. That's a new rule heading into 2026. The entire foot has to be across the center line for it to be a violation. You can have toes, you can have heel touching that center line. That is all legal. But if your entire foot is over that middle line, then that is the fault for the 2026 season.
Interesting rule change there. And there's a beauty of a set from Villanova. Ava Harris pushes it out to the pin. Here's another look at it, Mac, if you want to continue that elaboration. So look at the right foot of Emmy Selman goes over that center line.
And I would actually say that's a challengeable offense, and her heel is touching that line, so that would be legal right there. What the down official saw was her foot entirely across the line. If I was Katie Schumacher-Cauley, I might have challenged that flag.
Maybe in the regular season she would, but in Nebraska, they called her Big Hit Wit for that reason. Whitney Lowenstein, what a journey she's had. Ups and downs, started her career in Nebraska, transferred to Texas, lost her father, talked about that, stepped away from volleyball for a moment, has a husband and a daughter now, so she's got the mom thing going on, and Katie Schumacher-Cauley loves that experience in the locker room for Penn State. Also a Terminator on the pin too. Nice dig from Ava Faldudo. To the middle, Jones. Looking to connect with Stuckey, still not there yet. And there's Harrell, nice dig from Faldudo. Harrell again, down the line, deflection, high hands, count it. For the Ellensburg, Washington native, the senior Abby Harrell is a coin to this offense.
She's necessary for this Villanova offense, but how about that Penn State defense? Ava Faldudo making her name known in the backcourt there. She's saying, I want this libero jersey and I deserve it on this defensive run back here.
Steinbach says she's a workhorse. Abby Harrell has a chance to be a four-time All-Big East player. Hasn't been done at Villanova before. What a slide attack from Ryla Jones. Run it back. What'd you like, Mac?
That's something that I've been really excited to see, that Stuckey-Ryla Jones connection behind the attack, behind the setter. Ryla Jones hits a slide really well. She waits, she's patient, and then she speeds into it. Stuckey set that ball perfectly. Jones stayed behind it. Easy money there.
10-foot line, costly for Villanova. And too much service pressure from Penn State right now. Here's a look at Ryla Jones and her career hit percentage. What an ad this was for Penn State. Also has some continuity from the Metro BBC alumnus, Ryla, Emmy, Alexis Ewing, coming from that program. Second 10-foot line, Villanova gets crafty on the pin. That was hair all over the place. Or excuse me. Marley Smith with the kill.
That was a tough turn down the line. You can see Ava Faldudo there too, wasn't quite ready for it. She didn't have her hands up, and that ball went behind her.
A little sloppy on the serve receive for Penn State. Count it for Villanova. Reagan McGivern, excuse me. And here's some key players to watch for Villanova this season. 2025 award winners. Disappointing end to 2025. Felt like they were worthy of getting to the NCAA tournament. And net violation called on Penn State.
A little bit too much of a follow through there from Kennedy Martin. I think that might have been one that she could have stayed off on. That'll be something she wants to work on, keeping herself out of the net. Penn State was in the net quite a bit last season. It's definitely something they want to fix.
Ryla Jones loads up in front of Stuckey. Villanova denied on the pin again. Campbell McKinnon is roofed. As we take a look at Villanova's end to the season, they were the first team out of the NCAA tournament. Coach Steinbach was so hopeful this year with this group. Felt like they put together a body of work that deserves some recognition, but motivation for this year.
It's a heartbreaking way to end your season, but it gives you the fuel for next season. And for this Villanova team, they really only lost one key starter. So it allows them to kind of just keep rolling, and all of those players know what that heartbreak feels like.
Whitney Lowenstein out of the back row. She is a force.
I'm excited to say that quite a bit this upcoming fall. Lowenstein out of the back row is going to be dominant.
Especially for somebody like her who's going for it all in her senior campaign, graduate student rather. McKinnon with a rip, high hands off the pins. She's physical at 5'10". I'd love to know what she's touching on the jump.
McKinnon's trying to bring a lot of balls down here. She's been getting blocked a ton. She's a middle. She's used to having that quick set out there. But that's why they're running that offense really faster. But she needs to start trying to sneak it in on that outside hand, exactly like she did against Martin there.
Jones stuffed in the middle. All smiles for Villanova.
That's a big confidence-boosting block right there. To be able to block against a Penn State team that, like we've noted, is much bigger than your Villanova team, that's big time, and that's a lot of confidence.
It's Margot Randall, the senior out of Leawood, Kansas. Found a hole, but no touch for Emmy Selman. Little run here for Villanova. State captain back in 1999. I wonder what current or past Katie would say to current Katie if she showed her the renderings from Wrigley Field's sentimental event for her as a Chicago native. And set number 2 begins. New look on the pin for Penn State. And let's take a look at some of the other matches that week. As we know, the venue is quite the highlight, but any particular matchups you're looking forward to? I can circle the Penn State-Kentucky one for me. How about you?
I couldn't agree more. Penn State, Kentucky is definitely the one that I'm looking forward to most. Just the fact that they're going to get to play at Wrigley. I know these girls are excited. Fans have to be so excited. This is going to be an incredible event.
Another freshman getting a look on the pin for Penn State. Finley Kraskowiak, number 42 in white. Look out for the 6'4" San Diego native, freshman outside hitter, part of that depth conversation we were talking about at the top of the show. 5 viable options for Katie Schumacher-Cauley on the pin. Tough decision she will have to make come fall. Ball just a bit wide for Villanova. Again, McGivern
But that's a fun route right there.
Yeah, I like
They're
it.
stacked over there, running McGivern all the way across on a slide. They're trying different things. They're trying new stuff. That's exactly what the spring is for. That's exactly what this match is for.
Too big there. Penn State on the block. Nowhere to go. Well out of the gym. Penn State into the early lead here in set 2. But to your point there about that's what the spring's all about for Villanova especially. Last team out of the NCAA tournament. This is what it's like to play in the big environments against one of the great teams in the country. What it's going to take to get to the NCAA tournament in 2026. Aldudo handles the free ball with ease. Ooh, a little misconnect. The defensive sequence there. And on the opposite attacking position, we have Alexis Ewing, the sophomore who made some contribution at the end of 2025 for her team. 6'4", you might recognize the last name as well. Father's an NBA legend.
Ewing stepped in quite a bit for CJ, Caroline Jaravicius, there at the end of the season.
Nice.
She did well on the outside, but now they're trying her out over on the right side too, and it's fun to see her versatility and see what she can do over there as well.
Nice to have options in all sorts of directions, especially with Kennedy Martin departing after this season.
Got to look long-term when you're thinking about a program, and that's exactly what Coach Schumacher-Colley's doing with Alexis Ewing, trying her out over on the right side. She's a good option on the outside. She's proven herself at that, but hey, why not see what she's got over on the right side? She's high. She could be a good blocker there, too.
Ooh. Bunker off the net. Penn State will take it.
Using the equipment to her advantage. Alexis Stuckey. It's a veteran move right there.
Alexis Stuckey has had quite the journey as well, battled through injury and beyond. Sharing that starting position last year with Taylor Parks at Florida. Had to be mentally taxing, and that one sneaks through for Villanova. Abby Harrell finds a way to get the job done.
Back to that Alexis Stuckey injury, though. I remember her injury at Florida, and it was one that kind of shook the volleyball community because she was pushing for that spot. She was going to be Florida's starting setter, and that injury was truly heartbreaking, and it ended her season very early. So she's really built herself back up and has gone on an All-American campaign the last couple of seasons.
Nice cut from Gabby Nichols. From down, outer edge of the block. And yeah, to pay off that story, 2023 was the year that she got that season-ending injury and led her team to 3 top 10 wins in their first 4 matches for Florida. There was a lot of hype around Alexis Stuckey at 6'2", comes from a volleyball family, had to find her way back. And wow, Gabby Nichols. The physicality of Nichols in the middle. Looking more confident in her sophomore campaign, 6'2". That one into the net. Chris Kowiak, the freshman outside attacker with a miss serve. Katie Schumacher-Colley says she's a character, hilarious and a joy to coach. Not always that the freshmen are out of their shell this early.
You love when they are, though, and that's what's so fun. Again, once again, the spring, and for Penn State, having their whole roster here, they've got those freshmen in. That's so huge because normally freshmen show up in the fall. They're ready. They get maybe 2 weeks with the coaches, and they're right onto the court. So this allows the freshmen to get some time in the gym with their setter, with the coaches, and to learn how college volleyball is played.
That was a look at Haley Bergdorf, the freshman outside attacker again. What an arm! Out of St. Charles, Illinois, comes from the sports performance program, and hello, Haley Bergdorf. Look out.
Holy cow, Haley Bergdorf with a heavy arm right there. I knew she had a heavy arm. I didn't know it was like that. That was an absolute bounce of a ball. She's a little bit smaller, but she's definitely more dynamic. She's able to do a lot more with her size.
Nice touch.
Fantastic touch on the block.
Yeah.
That's a move right there that she knows her body's not there. If she were to stay straight up and down, she might miss that completely, and then that's an easy bounce for the opponent. But she barely reaches her hand back to create a soft block touch, which isn't the worst thing to do. We don't want to be crazy reaching, but when you reach with intention, then you reap the benefits.
Yeah, it gives the defense a little bit more time to recover. Was the top-ranked recruit out of Illinois, Bergdorf. And a nice pass, 3.0, 3 options. And how about Ewing? paying that off.
I am really
pass.
impressed with Haley Bergdorf right now. Coach Schumacher-Cauley talks about her being a dynamic player that she can kind of put wherever. One moment she's going to be playing 6, one moment she might be playing 3, and that's just the way it's going to be. And she's able to fit into any position that they need, and she's proving that right now. I'm really impressed with not just her arm, but her all-around game.
She's a gamer for sure. Ooh, defensive scramble and a physical play from Campbell McKinnon. Gets a hand on it, dumps it across.
I love the repeat set there to go back to Campbell McKinnon. The second set was a little bit low. She's a high flyer. We saw her on the outside in that first set. We saw how high she can touch. She's touching just as high in the middle, if not higher. So they got to get her up there. Kendall Northern on that slide is incredible. She's going to be one to watch. That is definitely a player that could step up and make a big impact early. That's a freshman that I have my eye on for sure.
6'1" out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Is the #1 ranked recruit out of Ohio, 13th nationally. Yeah, a lot of people talking about Kendall Northern and the immediate impact she could have for this Penn State team. Katie Schumacher-Cauley saying she's one of the quickest athletes we've had. So fast off the floor, quick arm, works really hard, a great kid to coach. Whoops, overpass. Penn State will eat that one.
It has to be fun, too, for Alexis Stuckey here to have so many options.
Oh, yeah.
She can set anyone, and she knows she's got a dominant attacker at the end of that set.
Especially Florida going through that transition in the SEC. Penn State established a bit more in that way. Demoted with depth, key pieces added. They have the tools now to make a big run.
They have fully reloaded, and there's no question about that.
Nice set. Just a bit wide. Great footwork, though, from Ava Harris, the sophomore setter. Indiana.
I really liked everything about that play. Just a little too eager from Abby Harrell there going across the court.
They kind of put you in a box, Penn State. With their block, they force you to try and do too much because it's hard to get through them, obviously. There it is. Ooh, tasty. Kat Young with the dig. Stuckey gets involved in size, especially of your freshmen. What's jumping out to you so far in this match? Anything you're liking, not liking?
Yeah, you know, it's great seeing these guys compete. They're so excited to be on the floor and, you know, seeing them pass and you know, just play the whole game. I know they were a little bit nervous, but it's nice to see them compete. And they're working hard, and they're a lot of fun to be around. And so it's excited to see what they can do.
It's got to be fun for you, too, to just, like, you have so many options. You can kind of throw anybody out there and see what happens. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, it's great to be able to move the players around a lot. You know, a lot of our pins can play on both sides, and they train both sides in practice. And, you know, I just like seeing them being aggressive and getting after it and taking some swings and smart plays, keeping the ball in play.
First sample size for the Big Ten fans of Alexis Stuckey in the blue and white for Penn State. You've seen her all spring, though. Tell us some things you maybe learned about her that you didn't know from prior to her joining the program that you're impressed by in your gym.
You know, she's a real joy to be around, and her teammates love her, and she's so supportive, and she works really hard, and she works hard with her hitters and gets in the gym extra with them and wants to learn what they need. And she's just a real fiery, competitive player, and I'm so happy she's with us.
Well, you had 3 blockbuster transfers here this season for Penn State, making headlines across the way. Whitney Lowenstein, another player that's been impressive. Ryla Jones. Explain the impact you're expecting to see from these 3 players in particular.
Yeah, you know, I think each of them, I mean, that's their goal. They want to make an impact here. They love Penn State. They love being a part of the program, and I'm really proud of what they've done so far. I mean, they've kind of taken over, and they have great leadership skills and great effort.
Here we see Chris Koyak, who you say is an entertainer on and off the courts. What has been her biggest growth point here this spring?
Who's sorry?
Chris Koyak.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this has been a fun match so far. I love having Josh here, and no, it's just it's a great, you know, we're lucky to be a part of the Big Ten and for you guys to be back here and be on TV, and and give everyone the experience of volleyball on a Saturday afternoon. So, you know, I thank the Big Ten for everything they're doing.
I got to ask about Haley Bergdorf because, I mean, we've seen a couple swings out of her. I knew she had a heavy arm, but holy cow. And then her defense back there, she's everywhere. Like, she's crushing it. Is this what you expected from her?
Haley is ultra competitive. She has great shots. She can move the ball around. She's a great 6 rotation player. She can pass, play defense. She kind of does it all, and it's exciting to see her and get out here. And again, I know she was a little nervous, but man, she's doing some great things, and she's a lot of fun to be around.
She's a gamer, you can tell.
She's a gamer, yeah, for sure.
Well, we've got an exciting event coming up, I know near and dear to your heart, going to Wrigley for the Big Ten SEC Challenge this fall. And public disclaimer, no more tickets available for Katie Schumacher-Cauley. I know that one is a joke that we had ahead of this, but if you could go back and tell the 1999 version of yourself where women's volleyball would be with a volleyball match being set up outdoors at Wrigley Field, what do you think she'd say?
I mean, it's amazing. And again, I'm so grateful for the Big Ten and everything that they're doing for this conference, and people like you guys that keep promoting us, and it's amazing. I'm so happy for my team and this league and everyone involved that gets to experience this, but it'll be pretty special playing at Wrigley Field.
What are you most excited about?
I'm excited for the season. I'm just excited. I think the conference is going to be really special, and obviously top to bottom it's going to be so competitive, and you know there's nothing like playing in the Big Ten. So I'm excited to see the schedule come out and take a little time off here in May and get the team some rest and regroup for the summer.
Well, what are some things that you learned about this group in the spring that maybe you didn't expect?
You know, I mean, the group is high energy, and you know, I never have to ask them to be focused and ready to go. So, like I said before, they're a real joy to be around, and they take care of each other, and they're a lot of fun. And we got quite a few characters on the on the roster.
You announced a big hire on Monday, bringing Abby Dietering back to Penn State. How's that been?
Having Abby back is awesome. I'm so happy she's here with us, and you know, it was a quick move for her. She moved in on Tuesday, was at practice, and she's ready to go, and she's going to bring a lot to this team and to the program.
What impact does that have on the players on court when they have Megan Hodge-Easy, yourself, national title winners, Abby Dietering? What impact have you seen it have on the players that can look to you guys with such respect, knowing you've been in their shoes before?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, we want them to have a great experience. We want to push them to be strong and to be brave and to, you know, have fun with it and know that it goes so fast, and, you know, really take a step back and enjoy what they're doing.
I mean, you don't have to go far to find a Penn Stater. I mean, Josh, I'm here. Like, there's Penn Staters everywhere in the volleyball community.
I know,
it's
we
really
love
cool.
it. Penn Staters everywhere.
How about that block from Ewing? So while we have you, maybe you can hang out with us for a second. Put your analyst hat on with Mac.
Oh, boy.
Break down the action for us. And that was a beauty from Gabby Nichols, a player that's been really confident to me.
Gabby has gotten so strong in the weight room, and you know, I call her Mad Dog Nichols. She just works her butt off, and you know, she's always available to hit, and you know, that's something that her and Stuckey have been working with, and I think just being available on and off the net, she can score.
Yeah, how about that setter-hitter connection? It looks like it's flawless already. Like, we haven't seen many, if any, misconnects at all between them.
They've been working on that, you know, and we push the middles to be available, and I think, you know, Stuckey and Danielle, both great setters that can set the ball, you know, on and off the net and create some space, and, you know, I think they're doing a really good job.
It's an area of the game you didn't feel as strong with last year that you hope gets addressed this year come fall?
You know, I think we're pretty physical at the net. I think we're pretty strong at the net, and again, we want to continue to be defensive and getting great touches, and I think doing a better job of setting up a good block. You know, I think we're pretty big and physical, so if we can get a couple touches on the ball and backcourt defense running some balls down, so it's defensively I'd like to see us be great.
If today's an example of that, you're doing pretty darn good.
Yeah.
What?
If today's an example of you guys blocking better, you're doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, they're working. They're working on it.
Would love to be a little behind that Penn State block.
Oh, yeah.
But as for this match, we appreciate your time, Katie.
Thank you guys so
I know you've got
much.
some busy work to do on your sideline with all the newcomers, but you guys are looking great and sharp here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and let's go Big Ten.
All right. We'll let you get back to the bench, and we'll get you back to the action here. Last 2 points in this one.
Harrell back to serve.
Abby Harrell on a little bit of a run here for Villanova. Great stuff Katie Schumacher-Cauley. Stuckey goes out to the pin, and the versatility Katie Schumacher-Cauley just told us about. Pin to pin, wants all hitters to be able to hit from both sides of the net. That is invaluable. And set point here for Penn State. After this one wraps up, we'll pick Mac's brain on that from a setting standpoint, why that's so invaluable for a team to have. Villanova goes out to the pin and throws it down. Taylor Lewis, the junior.
Back to that point you were making about being able to play on both pins. I think it's huge for any player to know what it's like to be in anyone else's shoes.
Yes.
It expands your game so much. I think every college player should go and coach a U12 team and learn how to make everybody play every position and teach everybody to play every position, because you learn so much about the game being in those shoes. So having the ability to play on the outside and the right side just expands your toolbox so much more, and it makes you a better opposite to know what the outside hitter is going through.
What a set there from Stuckey. Couldn't pay it off from the freshman Haley Bergdorf, but
Bergdorf was aiming for the 3-foot line right there.
But that's the physicality I think Penn State was missing last year with Addie Lyon in a setting position. The absence of Izzy Stark. That's a big play from Gabby Nickel to close it out.
I hope so, for her sake. I know how tough that is. I haven't been through everything that she's gone through, but just being a college athlete and trying to find your home is something that's very difficult. So for her to land here at Penn State and hopefully be able to settle in, release those shoulders a little bit, and just find her groove would be huge for her, not just as an athlete, but as a human as well.
Ball trickles through the Penn State block. Typically tough to get it through them, but sometimes you can squeak one in there, especially if you're Villanova, a bit undersized, but they're holding their own in this match. No better measuring stick. I'm not sure you're going to see a better block than this one all season long in the Big East. Big swing there. A tool. Sophie Stalcup enters the match.
I think that's a big key right there for Villanova. If you're gonna be low, you gotta swing hard and high up. You can't just keep going low with it. You gotta finish high on that block.
Mixes it a tip after going heavy the point before. Ryla Jones throws that one down into the middle of the net. Give us some context for our viewers back home. What's the hardest part about finding that connection with your middles?
That 31 or that gap set right there is probably the most difficult because there's more space there. It's a two-way street here. Your middle's got to be open and have a good window that the setter can see. The setter's then got to shoot that ball through the zone and really get it into that hitter's window. It's a two-way street. Both people have to do their jobs well in order for that connection to work, and it's very difficult to have both people doing what they're supposed to do at the same time.
Harrell shoots that one through the gap. Ooh, tip just a bit wide for Stuckey. I like the idea, though, and the luxury of having a physical setter, especially when it comes to that offensive attack, keeping the defense on the other side on their toes.
You already know I love that move right there. That's my favorite dump, too. I love that. The back dump, that's perfect. She barely missed it out of bounds. That's a good miss there.
Lola Buck-Taylor into the libero uni for Villanova, number 13, the junior. Tampa, Florida. Stuckey back at the service line for Penn State. That one's deep for Stuckey.
I will say that missed serves haven't really been an issue for either side. We haven't seen a ton of missed serves at really crucial times, which is a good thing to see, especially in spring right now. They're probably going for it. That's what I would be telling them if I was a coach, to just be serving aggressively, finding your game serve, and trying to figure out what that is. So it's big that serving isn't something that we're really harping on over here.
Oops. That one finds its way over the net. Jocelyn Nathan-Juice in the libero jersey for Penn State, number 11, senior, who's a workhorse in the gym. Very athletic family. We have a shoe tie situation on the courts. Abby Harrell either icing the kicker or struggling to get those shoes tied.
I couldn't find her. I was like, what are we waiting on?
Eva Faldudo back to work at the service line. Push set, doesn't make it out to the pin. Faldudo handles the free ball. There's a flying Ryla Jones. They've been looking for that connection, found it there.
Ryla Jones has bounced a couple balls, absolutely straight down, demolished them. But this one, she changes that swing and aims a little bit deeper there for that deep 5-6 corner. That creates a different defense that a team's got to set up. It's good to know she can do both.
Ryla's sister was a star athlete at the University of Maryland, where she still holds the career total blocks record. 718, playing professionally now at the Columbus Fury. So has a younger sister, Renee, rising sophomore, opposite attacker for the University of Arizona. Nice pass from Juice. Kennedy Martin is dug out. Stuckey goes back to her buddy. High hands that time, moves the ball around, and those are the subtle nuances, not to mention the physicality for Kennedy Martin, but that is so tricky for the defense on the other side.
I love the back-to-back sets.
Wow, what a dig.
Abby Harrell made a huge effort at that, but Kennedy Martin back-to-back swings is hard to defend, and she changed that up a little bit. She aimed for the 5-6 corner the first time and then switched it up to the 1-6 the next time. That's a sure sign of a dynamic hitter that's able to do a ton.
Nice. Pulls that set out of the net. Ava Harris grabs that one. There's a look at the highest kill per set in a single season. Record-setting year for Kennedy Martin last year, and that was with Addie Lyon as her setter. And a lot of total attempts on her shoulder too, which is not easy to get kills all the time when you're seeing the ball more than any other player on the court.
No, but that's another thing that's huge about having such a big pin hitter room for this Penn State offense, is that now Kennedy Martin doesn't have to carry such a load she did last season. There's more ability to spread the love. Alexis Stuckey has more options available, and Kennedy Martin doesn't have to take a million swings on her shoulder.
Right. But when you want to put the ball away, that ball is usually going to number 18. Villanova looking for life here in a tight one. Nice. Ball to the corner. Again, a look at the young new star, Kendall Northern, the freshman out of Cincinnati.
I would have said Kendall Northern was going to be late to that ball. She might have been a little bit late still, but that's just a true testament to her speed. Coach Schumacher-Colley talked about how she's really fast, one of the fastest she's ever seen. So her ability to get all the way across the court right there, that's tough to do.
Dig from Martin. Northern loads up in transition for a freshman. Monstrous play.
That's an insane bounce ball right there from Kendall Northern. In transition, like you said, her ability off the net here, it's a fast play. Tons is happening, and she still manages to just get those last two steps.
Jeez.
That's all that mattered, was those last two, and she bounces that ball.
So quick off the floor indeed. Martin in the backcourt. Stuckey, a little tight, doesn't matter, pulls it out. Wow, the physicality of Penn State unmatched. Alexis Ewing.
That's a little something we like to call OT right there. That is over top of that block. Alexis Ewing is so high. Holy cow, she bounced that.
Kendall Northern on the screen, one of the 4 incoming freshmen. All 4 could make an immediate impact on this team. A fully loaded Penn State roster. And the threat of Kendall Northern in the middle also just opened up Alexis Ewing on the pin. Such a luxury from a setter standpoint to open up those holes along the net.
100%. As a setter, a lot of times our mindset is use your middle early to open up your pins. And when you have such amazing options at the middle and the pin, it allows you to do that. You can open up that middle really early and maybe force a couple balls that you might not normally set if your middle wasn't up every single time.
Stock loads up twice. Woo, a little ambitious there for Kennedy Martin. We're still playing. Ewing goes big, dug out. Northern Fearless. Oh, bounces that one. Looked to be off the sideline, just a touch wide.
She wanted that swing so bad. The delay, the last 2 steps, I mean, that was textbook. Her form looked great. I thought that was in 100 times out of 100. Just barely gets it. Oh my gosh, that's so close.
Mom played college basketball at Illinois, the oldest of 4 sisters. Nice play there. She's making very veteran choices, too, for a freshman, so far as I'm seeing it.
She's really fun to watch. Her offensive play today has been huge for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I'd say so. Jocelyn Nathan at the service line, a little warm embrace. Freshman to freshman, settling into their new digs here. Also, freshmen arriving in the spring wasn't a thing back when I was playing in 2008 to 2012. Talk about the evolution of that, too, and how that impacts the game in today's era.
I was a freshman who went early. I didn't go to school I didn't go to high school my second half of my senior year. So I left for Christmas break in December and then didn't come back to high school. I went straight to college at Ohio State. It's a very different type of game. You get to learn more about how to play volleyball at the collegiate level. The game moves faster. The girls are bigger, especially in the Big Ten. There's a lot to be learned in the spring. So for a freshman to be able to come in early and have that spring semester to learn a ton is a huge benefit, and it's a huge check in the pros column.
How much more ready did you feel for the game, having that extra layer of experience in the spring?
Way more ready, because when you come in the fall, you get 2 weeks with your coaching staff. That's it. 2 weeks, and then you're off to the races and you're playing in a game. Funny enough, I was out my entire preseason my freshman year. I was sick the whole preseason, and then I started the very first game. So I didn't even get the preseason to begin with. So imagine if I wasn't there in the spring, I had no time to train, and then I still had to start that first match. I would have no idea where to be. I was probably still a little lost, let's be honest, but I was better off.
That was Ryla Jones' 5th kill of the match, hitting 300 at the moment. Great connection so far between she and Stuckey. What a ball from Campbell McKinnon, the junior. She can fly through the air.
The speed that set came out of her hands. Campbell McKinnon contacted that ball faster than the block even had the chance to recognize that she was going to get it. It came from below her, but she was so open and ready to get on top of it.
Ball tailed off at the end. The serve out to the pin. Harrell, the lead attacker in this match so far. 9 kills for her tonight.
Harris back to serve.
Villanova's finding ways to find edges a little bit better than they were in the first 2 sets. This set, they found the edges of the block and are scoring more that way.
And so was that one, I think. Grew up but also went to college. She went through a lot last year. So how are the emotions flying in this homecoming?
It's been fun. I've got, my son came on the trip with my younger son, and we had lunch at my dad's house, and we had the whole team out there. So it's super fun being back. A girl with a whiteboard over here asked me if I missed State College earlier, and that was really nice of her, because I do. I love it here. It's home, so it's good to be back.
As for this matchup here in the spring, you were hoping to learn more about your team, put them in a bigger environment against a very physical team. What are you learning so far about your group?
Well, I mean, we've had some nerves. I thought, the past couple of weeks, our kid that's been playing libero has been really, really good, and she was a little all over the place in the first couple sets. And
there was no net.
I would like to see her be a little bit better, and we didn't handle the ball. It just looked like the first set we were just like, oh my gosh, look at all this, So it's okay, but we got to be able to play on this stage and be better. And I think this is as good a Penn State team as I've seen in person in a long time. So they look really good, and they're organized now, and we're still experimenting a little bit. We put Campbell on the outside in the first set, didn't go as smoothly as maybe we might have liked, but that's okay.
But that's what the spring's for, right? This is the time we keep talking about. This is the time to learn and do different things and figure things out about your team. Is there anything that's standing out to you that you'd be like, this is what we need to work on, this is what we need to figure out?
Well, for sure. I mean, I thought, I think, just some of our ball handling stuff I thought was going to be better, and we haven't looked as comfortable in some receive situations as I wanted to. In the second set, I thought we got 2 or 3 easy balls. We just looked like we were second guessing stuff, and so those are the things that we know we've got to be really good at, because we're just not very physical. I said to you when we came over, with Marley Campbell and Abby in the front row, we're 5'7", 5'8", and 5'9", and that's just not that big. And so we better be really good in serve and pass, and we've been pretty shaky.
Well, how valuable, all those things aside, is a match like this to get your team prepared to knock on the door for the NCAA tournament as you were to close out 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important. I think it's really important, and it's really fun, and we want to play as good a teams as we can, as often as we can, and and certainly playing a match like this and playing in an environment, we'll be looking forward to those guys getting in here and see what they can do, and we've got a couple kids I think can impact us as well and make our gym better.
I have a fun one for you.
Yeah.
So you were here while Katie Schumacher-Colley was playing here, right?
Yeah.
How was she as a player when you were in the gym experiencing her firsthand?
Well, she's like the sweetest, nicest person when you're walking around, but if you put her out there inside the lines, that's not so much the case. She could talk a little bit, and she would get it. The one year when I remember her just being here, and I was just when I first got in going, and she's just yabbering through the net. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, it's a little different environment. And that group, especially when I was here, loved to chatter a little bit. So it was really fun, and you forget when somebody's just a really sweet, nice person that you like hanging out with, how bitterly competitive they can be.
Well, she defended herself in her yabbing through the net. Said, "Yeah, I only yabbed to him because he was going for fingertips all the time on the attack." So
she was a better player than me, that's for sure.
But from the coaching standpoint, what are some things that you admire about Katie Schumacher-Colley and the journey she's been on to get to this point in her life?
Well, I mean, I've known Katie a long time, and we've been in the same league a little bit. She was at UIC when I was at Wright State back in the day in the Horizon League, and then she got the job at Penn. She lived in my neighborhood, not that far away, so we got to see each other in some coaching things. And what I really like is, in this. In the world that we're in right now, she's an ultra-competitive person that delivers messages in the right way and is able to communicate with modern athletes in the way that we need to do it. And she's just doing things the right way. And so when I talk to Katie, we just it's easy for us, and we're friends, and we always will be. And like I said, we've been through a thing or two, and we've both had some life happen here in the past couple of years. So it's good to we've talked more about that than we do about volleyball and things. So
for sure. I know you don't want to harp on it, but you did go through a massive life thing last year with the heart attack. Came back from that. Big Ten fans might not know that about you, and just the context of life that you gained from that. So what do you take with you now on the sideline that you didn't have before that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I joked with somebody that, I'd say it a lot now, is I should have a T-shirt that says bonus time, because that's my whole life right now is bonus time. I was very fortunate to make it and had to deal with some stuff. I was playing a little pickup basketball and had a thing. So, but now it's just
a thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Just casual.
It was casual. I didn't really do anything, I just kind of fell over, and then some other people did some work to get me back, and so yeah. But that stuff's hard, and it's been emotional, and certainly it makes me appreciate what I get to do every day. And like you guys, I'm fortunate enough to spend most of my time worrying about where the ball falls, and that's a joy. And so this job I have is something I love doing, and I have kids I love hanging out with, and this group particularly is super fun to be around every day. And so yeah, it's I got a cool job, and I'm fortunate to be living a life that's still going. So yeah.
We talked to Katie about the growth of volleyball and how she was part of it back then. You were part of it with her then too.
Yeah.
How have you seen volleyball grow firsthand to where we are now? I mean, heck, we got a game at Wrigley Stadium, and Penn State's going to be playing in it.
It's crazy. And the fact that we're playing a TV match right now in the spring, like, one of my high school teammates is up here watching, and we used to think we were alternative because we were playing volleyball. It was just such a not mainstream thing. We thought we were the cool kids because we were doing something different.
Yeah.
But it's just blown up. It's just blown up so much, and this is cool. Yeah, Marley got a good swing here.
Yeah,
how about this one?
Break this one down.
This is what we want to do. We want to spread
Nice.
out and get some space and let our attackers go to work. And we have a couple good arms. We just we've got to be really good handling the ball, and we haven't been quite good enough to do that a whole bunch today.
Well, I know it's a tight one, Coach. You're probably itching to get back to the sideline to get this set off here.
It looks like they're playing better with me over here. Maybe I should stick around for a little while longer.
Hey, feel free.
No, I'm good. Thank you guys so much for having me over here. I appreciate this. This has been great, and it's good to talk to you guys a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right,
we'll
take
let
care.
you get back to the bench, and we'll take another look at the Marley attack from a moment ago. Wicked on the outer edge of the block. What a shot. from Marley Smith, a senior. Aggressive set from Villanova. Emmy Selman flies from the back row. Nice dig. See Jin. Villanova runs the middle again. Kendall Northern's on it. Big block. Ooh, Villanova digs it out. Oh, too much to handle. Kendall Northern, the freshman star. Pin to pin, and Ewing will take the credit for this stuff, but it all comes down to the middle, closing it out too.
Kendall Northern, I was so impressed with her offensive ability, but here she is displaying her defense. Yes, Alexis Ewing was the one to finish that one, but she doesn't get it if Kendall Northern's not there and closed and working her butt off to make sure she is.
Just barely misses the close on that block. You can see the effort. She's a workhorse, as Katie Schumacher-Cawley describes her freshman middle blocker, Kendall Northern. Villanova on the run, looking to tie it up here at 20. And the confidence you get if you can take a set off Penn State, albeit in the spring, you'll take it no matter how you can get it.
Even to play Penn State this close, for Villanova, this is a huge get for them.
A little hip check on the way out. Kendall Northern and Ryla Jones with an accidental exchange. Jocelyn Nathan back at the line. Jump float serve and a nice one. Villanova handles the pass. Ooh, Harrell loads up and Stuckey is on it.
Setter with a solo block right there. That's a huge press and a huge fix. The play before, she missed that block. That ball trickled into her a little bit more. She fixed her hands right there and pressed over even more.
Fourth block of the match for Alexis Stuckey. That ball drops for Villanova.
That's a big upgrade for Penn State. Last year, their setter, Addie Lyon, wasn't quite the defensive force in the front row that Alexis Stuckey is going to be able to be for them this season.
For sure, undersized in that category. I don't think she would deny that either. Did a great job running the offense last year, though. Did Addie Lyon. Took a lot of advice from Kristen Carpenter, who's in the crowd here somewhere. Legendary undersized setter for Penn State. Nice grab from Stuckey. That ball is tight. The middle is run. And what a play for Villanova. Keeping the block for Penn State guessing. Another chance to tie it here at 22.
Campbell McKinnon's really working her butt off to get up in transition and hit that ball down, whether it be a shove or an actual hand contact down.
Net violation on Stuckey. Serve receive not doing her a ton of favors, though. A lot of tight sets. Tight passes, excuse me.
That's definitely the biggest difference between these first two sets and this one is Penn State's passing.
Nice pass there. Ooh. And you'll get your lacrosse game starting on time. And volleyball fans, don't worry. You can catch us in the remainder of this match on the Fox Sports app. Tight one here between Villanova and Penn State. Ooh, and a wise timeout taken from Penn State. Lola Buck-Taylor sends that serve deep, freeing Penn State to tie it and a chance to pull away. Stuckey back at the line.
This is definitely not the front row you want to see if you're Villanova. Defensively, that's a massive front row for Penn State.
The serve from Stuckey, but a nailed pass from Villanova, and a block with some holes in it, discovered by Kat Young on the pin.
Doesn't matter how big your block is, if it's got holes in it, somebody's going to be able to find it and score.
It's a great point, and that's one way to beat a team that is well oversized compared to your roster. Set point here for Villanova. We'll play a fourth set no matter what. The grab from Stuckey. Kendall Martin throws it into the undersized block of Villanova.
Keep playing scrappy like they have. When you're playing against a team that's bigger than you, you've got to be sure that you're the better defensive team. You've got to outwork them, and you got to swing for hands and edges. That's what Villanova's got to do, and then Penn State's got to keep their game high, like they know how to do. Be bigger, be more physical, be more dominant.
Well, Whitney Lowenstein back into the lineup and instantly makes an impact. That ball was dug up, and there's a certain maturity that Lowenstein also brings to the table. Has been around a couple of different teams, off the court, And on the court as well, just has to bring some sort of stability to the group.
There's a ton of life experience that she brings to this group. I mean, playing professionally, you play with a lot of different people that have a lot of different life backgrounds and come from different circumstances. And you play with girls that have kids, multiple sometimes, and have been playing for years and years and years. And that's kind of the experience that Whitney brings to this team. It shows like it's a professional team out here.
That's a great point. A leaping hug from Ava Falduto on the finish of that one. Stuckey, the star of the show. Just out. Lowenstein hitting 800 on the match so far. 4 kills off of 5 attempts. Efficient, to say the least. Lexi Jin back to the line for Penn State. Sophomore defensive specialist out of Indianapolis. Errant pass for Villanova, trying to work their way out of it. Ooh.
Point to the Wildcats.
Ball was called out, I believe it was. Here's a look at the career kills for Lowenstein. 297 in her career at Nebraska in 2022. Texas at 33 last year. Wow. Gabby Nichols with a big attack and also came in clutch moments for Texas in the NCAA tournament. Deep and clutch. She was.
It's been a while, though, since we've seen Whitney Lowenstein play some significant time and be a crucial part of a lineup. And I really think she has the potential here at Penn State to do that for them, be that rock of an outside hitter that they're going to need.
I agree. I think it's her year to shine in that starting role for sure.
And there's no better place to do it. I think Katie's creating such a family atmosphere here that Whitney's family herself fits right into.
Reagan McGiver back to serve for Villanova.
Switcheroo here. Lots of players getting different looks. Nina Diggs, who I thought was fantastic at defense from a libero standpoint. Working our way into the defensive specialist role for this one. What a great last name for a little too.
Right?
Pun intended.
Fits her so well.
Pass from the freshman. Oh yeah, run that one back. Haley Bergdorf. Look at the platform.
Passing, passing, passing. I mean, it all starts with the first contact. If your first contact is wonky, the rest of your play is going to have such a hard time coming to fruition. So Haley Bergdorf back there with that solid platform, just taking care of that first contact so well, sets Penn State up for success quite often.
Ooh, boy, nice attack from Villanova. Big hole in the block to exploit.
There's another example of the first contact proving to be so important. I mean, you dime this pass, your setter doesn't really have to move that much, maybe a little bit forward, but then can still run that fast offense there, feed that middle, beat the block.
Annika Vierink, 6'2" middle attacker out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. The kill there. Stuckey goes to the middle. Nichols has been hot here tonight. Villanova fights back. Nice coverage. Fast tempo. That's something they're working on. Oh, yeah. Big load up for the freshman, Haley Bergdorf.
That's a veteran swing from a freshman right there. Bergdorf has a solid block in front of her. She's getting a set from a libero, so she knows it's out of system. There's going to be a set block, and she still finds a way to swing deep and high and beat the block, provide herself with a kill there. And she's undersized to begin with.
I was just going to say, at 6 foot, undersized.
It's so funny that 6 foot is undersized.
Right.
But when you're
Quote,
on a
unquote.
team, yeah, when you're on a team of Penn Staters that are all standing this tall, 6 foot is undersized.
Kat Young back to the line for Villanova, playing a tight one with Penn State as they did in set 4. Bergdorf again, the pass. Ryla Jones, such a smart play. Draws a blocker in. Defenders were out wide. Found the middle.
So smart there. She probably could have gotten a hand on that and taken a swing. That had nothing to do with the set or the timing and everything to do with the choice there. Ryla Jones made the choice to go off speed and tip that right up and over because she saw it open.
What a set. Heads up. I like that athletic set, though, from Alyssa Nelson.
She's an athletic player. Coach Steinbach was talking about how dynamic she is, and she loves to run forward and chuck that ball behind her, be pushed all the way back and shove that ball all the way across the court.
Aggressive serve from Faldudo. Another crafty set from Nelson to bail out her side. Yeah, overall, just an athletic kid. Wishes he could use Alyssa Nelson in all 5'1" scenario, frankly, but 5'8", which is generous, he says.
Probably not going to cut it in the front row there.
Against Penn State anyway. Lauenstein flies into the shot. Is denied by a solo block of Villanova.
I love that set choice from Stuckey. Lauenstein just needs to find more of an angle there. She went pretty straight ahead towards zone 6, that middle of the court. If she puts a thumb down and goes towards zone 5, she scores on that.
Stuckey to go to the freshman. Nice coverage. Couldn't do it twice, though. Russell and Nathan bailed out Bergdorf on the pin. The first time, but not the second time. Villanova with a chance to tie it at 8.
Bergdorf was on her way down on this one. You can see she's really early. She's hitting on her way down. That ball has nowhere to go but low seam into that solid Villanova block that was completely pressed over.
Bombs away. Ball is wide.
But that's a good change right there. The play before, she swung low and into that block. That one, she's out of system as well, but she's reaching higher. She missed high, almost hits Coach Steinbach on the other side there. But hey, she's still reaching high. That's a good change.
Ooh. Nice dig. Villanova picking up their defense a bit. Nelson reverses the flow and denied by the Penn State block. Ryla Jones happy with herself for that one.
The harder you hit, the harder it comes back at you. Campbell McKinnon went at this ball. Her feet weren't quite there. Ryla Jones was all over that. A little springtime stare down.
I was just going to say.
I like it.
Oh, some sass.
We're ready to go. These girls are like, when is the fall? Is it August yet? What a set there.
Yeah.
Tricked every blocker in the gym, had everybody off their feet, jumping in the air. Alyssa Nelson held onto that ball just a little bit longer than she normally would. She drops her hands a little bit and lets go of that ball really high. Gives a one-on-none situation there.
Credit to the pass, too, from Kat Young to put her in that situation to run all 3 attackers. Nice pass from the freshman for Penn State. Lauenstein gets physical and almost gets dug out.
It's so fun to see Whitney Lauenstein flying so high. She's well above the net, well above the blockers, and swinging really high at fingertips.
Out to the pin, it's tight. Stuckey keeps it alive, though, and that ball is called out at the pin, I believe, prior to Stuckey hitting that ball, bailing it out.
I think Stuckey's bailout might have put it back into the pin, too. Slid it right up the antenna.
Ooh, just a little tight, little fast. Gabby Nichols gets back to the net. Tip from Villanova. Oh, nice pursuit from Marley Smith. And a net violation on Whitney Lauenstein for Penn State. How about this? Marley Smith not only gets the set-winning block in set number 3, what a dig in the backcourt.
Incredible range right there. That's all-out pursuit effort. That's what you got to do sometimes when you're playing against a more physical team.
Bullet of a serve from Villanova. Wow, Lowenstein is dug out again from Marley Smith. Ooh. Marley Smith, the hero of this one, Manhattan Beach, California. They train their defenders there. Lots of beach volleyball to develop the defensive prowess of the California girls. And Marley Smith showing just that. Stuckey. Ooh, a little tight there for Lowenstein. Try again. Goes to the slide that time. Nichols misconnects. Ooh, a scrappy situation, and Villanova pulls ahead by 3.
I would stop hitting at Marley Smith in middle back right there. She's everywhere in the backcourt. She's making really high IQ reads, seeing where the attacker is going to be and digging their percentage swings. She's anticipating where that ball is going to go really well.
Just really impressed, and a great point by you to keep it away from the middle back position. Marley Smith teeing off defensively. There's another one. Kate Ritterbusch with the dig on that one for Villanova in the libero jersey. Lowenstein again, frustrated, trying to put that ball away. She's been dug out a couple of times. Great defensive pursuit by Villanova.
There was definitely a little extra frustration on the backside of that swing right there. She was aiming for that sharp 4-to-4 swing, and she got it.
She flies through the air, so athletic.
So high.
Such a loose arm, too. Stuckey in the back row now, sends a BB over. Lowenstein is on it.
Good on Lowenstein to be ready on that. So many times do I see blockers not set, not ready, just kind of lackadaisical back to their base there, and then that ball comes flying over fast like that, and they're not able to get on it. Lowenstein was ready for that.
Nice pass from Ritterbusch. And an almost dig from Bergdorf. Lands in the lap of Villanova. 2-point gap. How much stock are you putting into this for Penn State in the spring game? Losing its luster a little bit energetically on their side.
Yeah, you definitely look at it a little bit, but I think you take it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of good things happening on both sides of the net, and a lot of things being learned, a lot of takeaways that can come from a match like this. A lot of players playing in a college match for the first time on TV and playing together for the first time, and it's a lot of new in here, so when you can take a few things away, that's a pro.
Lowenstein, a spark plug so far in this one.
I like her determination. She's not getting a kill on the first swing every single time, but it shows that she's a veteran and that she's done this before. She knows that the play continues, so she's ready for swing 2, 3, 4 maybe even.
Ball is, saved. Oh, but Stuckey is called under the net. Could be challengeable. I would love to see another look at it if it's all the way across. Asking for a towel. Nice save by the freshman Finley, Chris Koyak. Let's take a look at the storylines, though, heading into the fall for Penn State, revisiting these. Lots of exciting new faces on this Penn State roster, some new freshmen, some bombshell transfers, and, of course, battle at nearly every position, which is always an exciting theme from spring. And, oh boy, Lowenstein goes flying into the chairs. Nobody harmed in the process.
All-out effort there, even in the spring.
Heavy serving, though, from Alyssa Nelson, the junior setter who deserves a ton of credit. Wildwood, Missouri. Making Penn State earn it. Looking to push this to 5 sets. Freshman calls off Lowenstein. Bold move. Stuckey goes to the middle. What a set to Gabby Nichols. Much going right for Penn State side. Villanova rolling in the opportunity.
I will say I did not expect Stuckey to set the middle there, facing the other way, facing right front, setting a back set to her middle. But it was fun that it made the connection work. For an attacker. That ball was left a little bit inside for Finley Kraskowiak to go get it, so she could go towards that back corner cross court. If she were to have tried to turn that ball down the line, she probably would have gotten blocked or whiffed it and gave an easy off speed. So she went with her power to that deep cross, and that's the one she went with.
Back row, Allenstein, perfect time to use her. Bergdorf was loading up. Ryla Jones was loading up. Stuckey with the jump set. She was a threat offensively. What a set. What a choice. Run it back. There's another look at it.
So many attackers, so many options. Lowenstein off of Stuckey's hip, too. Not dead center in the middle of the court, but more of that bick where it's off the setter's hip.
Campbell McKinnon throwing heat out of the middle for Villanova. She's been sensational here tonight.
She keeps popping up here and there. She's quiet, and then she jumps out of the gym and bangs a ball across court. I love her energy and her ability to be kind of a silent killer and then come in hard and heavy.
And jump out of the gym. And we are only playing 4 sets here in this exhibition, and we remind you the 4th set will continue or conclude on the Fox Sports app should we go past the hour here. 6 p.m. Eastern time. Bergdorf back to serve. Dime of a pass, and luckily for Penn State was sprayed wide by Campbell McKinnon, who had options. Here's what's coming up next for you on Big Ten Network. Top 20 affair, Rutgers against Maryland coming up next. Stay in the Northeast. A couple hours from here, Bergdorf looking for a run for Penn State. Sails it deep. Good for these freshmen to be in pressure-filled situations, though.
There's definitely some pressure right now. There's fans in the stands. They're in main gym. Penn State doesn't practice day in and day out in main gym right here. They practice down in South Gym down the hallway with no air conditioning, mind you. So when it gets summer, it's going to get a little sweaty in there. But right now, they're getting to play with the lights on a little bit. TVs here. There's definitely some pressure.
Bergdorf throws up a nice pass. Lowenstein blows through the block, but it's dug up. Roll shot. Stuckey is on it. Libero out of the picture, so Faldudo with a heads-up play. That's nice. That's what experience looks like. What a heads-up move from Ava Faldudo. Knows that Juice is out of the picture, runs in, throws her hands on it, dishes a nice set to Lowenstein. No panic. Settles into left back. Throws Juice to right back. That's what Penn State is looking to build on.
Someone should go check the floor and make sure there's not an absolute hole over there from that swing from Lowenstein. She absolutely destroyed that ball.
Ball is just a bit deep. Marley Smith settles into disappointment. Here's another look at that. We'll evaluate if there's any damage to these floors from that one. Effortlessly powerful. As Lowenstein sees the court in front of her so well, too.
She's got to be difficult to block. Her arm swing is a little bit of what I would call a roundhouse swing. She drops her arm down. So as a blocker, you lose sight of your attacker's weapon, basically. You lose sight of her arm for a second, and then she brings it back up and through in one swell swoop. So it's harder as a blocker to know where her hand is actually going to be because it doesn't stay high the whole time.
Wow, a bomb from Lowenstein again. Why don't you break down that film one more time, Mac?
Lowenstein's so high. She's over top of these blockers, but then to add one more piece to it, again, her arm swing kind of disappears for a second. She waits on it and has a little bit of a roundhouse swing. You can see her arm stays a little bit lower. Her elbow doesn't quite get as high until she's about to attack, and then she gets on top of that ball.
A bit deep for Villanova. Penn State closing in at crunch time.
Looks like we're going to have a Villanova challenge here.
Villanova is challenging the in-out call on the left.
This one's going to hold up.
The call was out, and Villanova is challenging that there was a touch.
Thank you for the clarification there.
I think there's a chance a Penn State blocker might have gotten a fingertip on that.
Ooh, okay. Kind of shocking that there wouldn't be a touch with how, look at the physicality. Their heads are above the net. Did Whitney Lowenstein we talked about it a little bit. There's another look.
Coach Steinbach there looked a little confused. He was pretty sure he saw a touch.
Stuckey back to the line. Scrappy play from Villanova. It's out. Tied up at 22.
I loved that drop serve from Stuckey. Dropped right in front of the passing lines. They had to move forward a little bit. Created an out-of-system situation. But the middle there for Villanova was able to still take a last two-step close, reach high, be patient, and tool off the block.
All right, get your phones out. Get the Fox Sports app rolling. We're 2 minutes away from finishing out set 4 there. So we'll turn our attention to men's lacrosse coming up momentarily. Gabby Nichols in the middle, dug out by Marley Smith, and just shy of the net. Penn State, 2 points to take set 4. Lowenstein looking to close it out. The seam to go, Stuckey goes to the pin, is denied, just a bit tight. And that will do it for us here on Big Ten Network. Head over to the Fox